Hi there, this is Art and Such with part 1 of my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Ryker from Star Trek Next Generation. His beard is drawn on with a brown permanent marker, and you can use brown or black or a really dark brown for the hair. I used blue beads in my prototype here. I'm going to be using a couple of turquoise bands for the eyes in this tutorial. There's a pale skin color you'll be needing, and red for the uniform, black for the pants and shoes, and we can do a silver or a gray comm badge. We're going to start on our hook and make the arms. So you'll take a single skin tone band, wrap it 3 times on your hook, and we're going to pull this onto 5 sets of double red bands. So take 2 red bands, put them on the end of your hook, and pull your wrapped skin tone band on top. You can put the other end back here. We're going to do that again. Take 2 more, put them on the end, bring your bands over and onto your new reds, and 3 more times. 1, pull them over. 2, pull them over, and 3, if you want it to be longer, just add another set or 2 to your chain here. And we're going to make another arm, same way. Single wrapped 3 times, and this is our skin tone here. And pulled onto 5 sets of double red. I should mention here just before we get started, if you don't want a beard for Ryker, there are early episodes where he is clean shaven, and that's totally cool. And if you want to play around with your bands and you can successfully find a way to get a beard in, that's great. Please let me know what strategies you've used. I've been trying a while, and I think this looks the best of what I've tried so far. Okay, we're going to move on to the loom and make the body. And for this, you'll have your loom in the offset position with the middle row just above the side two. Come down with double bands from the top center peg to the second peg in the center. 2 black bands down second center to second right. 2 black bands from second center to second left. On the right side, you'll come down with 2 sets of double red, and then go to the end of the loom with double black bands. On the right side, it's 3 sets of double red. This is so that our Starfleet uniform is higher on one side than the other. So 3 on the left, and then the rest of that side is going to be double black coming down. And in the center, from the second to the third, it's going to be a set of double red, followed by 2 sets of double red, and 2 sets of double black. Once you have this, you can put your arms on. Those are going on the second peg on the left and the second peg on the right. You're just moving all of those loops you have on your hook onto the peg on the loom. And just check you've got them all. We're going to make the feet, and I'm going to do some pretty simple boots this time. We're taking 2 single bands, wrapping them 3 times onto the hook, and pulling them onto 2 single bands. And this will go on the bottom peg on one side, and we'll make another for the other side. It's 2 single bands, wrapped 3 times, pulled onto 2 single bands. And there we go. Okay. We need some holding bands. And we are going to use black for the bottom ones here. So let's take a single black. And this first one is going to be doubled over so it's tight. And it's going over that last center peg where we used the band. This is your 7th peg down the center. And to the 2 bands diagonally down from there. And you'll pull this bottom piece up. So it's not a triangle anymore, it goes over and around. We're going to do 2 black bands, and just use them as loose single triangles. And then we are going to switch to red 2 times. And we can start to loop up. We're going to loop up the center first. So get your bottom 2 bands and bring them up and over. Get your next 2 bands, bring them up and over. We're getting the 2 reds, and we're going straight up to the second peg from the top. Now you can pick a side, pull back your foot, and we're coming under there, taking the bottom 2 black bands, bringing them up over around the peg above. And we're going to loop straight up the side. When you get to those holding bands, make sure you push them back and get underneath them before you bring up your others. So get inside, pull the bottom 2 up, and just make sure you aren't grabbing these bands as you go, as I say, because then you won't have anything holding your other pieces together and it'll get really sloppy. You get to the arm, you're going to dig under and get the bottom 2 black, which are coming from the second center peg. And once you have that, push it down a little bit, come back to the bottom, we're going to come up the other side. Very same thing. Having trouble with my foot here. Let's try this again. There we go. All right, keep going. And from under the arm, the bottom 2 black, I'm going to turn this to another angle to access them more easily. From here you want to reach under all the bands and get just the bottom 2 pink. You can remove some of your tighter sections from the side, and then you're going to take this off of the loom. Oops. There we go. Alright, there's our body. And you want the part with the black where it's higher to be your front. For the head, you'll take your hair color, whether it's black or brown, and bring 2 bands down from the top center to the top right, and 2 down from the top center to the top left. 1 more set on either side of your hair color, coming down first to second on either side. And then we're going to switch to our skin tone and come down 3 times in the center using double bands. And we'll come down on the side 1 time, double bands, and double bands, and 1 more time down on either side. Now if you want, I've made his face kind of round here. If you want Ryker's face to be longer, what you can do is add 1 more set of double bands down the center, and I'll show you here how you could do that, like so, and then take double bands from the 4th side to the 5th center. That will make it longer, and repeat that on the other side. I'm choosing to make the face a little rounder, so what I'm going to do is bring these bands upwards instead of down 1 more. I'm going to do this 1 more time from the side. And we're going to do a triangle band from our 3rd peg to our 3rd peg over the 3rd center. If you are using beads and you're worried about them losing their place, you can take a single band, twist it a couple times, bring it from the 2nd peg to the 2nd peg, I'm using bands this time, so I'm just going to do a regular triangle here. And this is another choice you can make if you want the face to be tighter and a little bit thinner. What you can do is take a single, double it over, and use that for your triangle bands instead. We are ready for the eyes. If you're using beads, you can thread them onto both onto a single band of skin tone. You can do that using your hook or a thin wire, or dental floss works really well. For bands, we're taking your eye color, wrapping it 3 times onto the hook and repeating, and you're going to pull these both onto a single skin tone band. Bring this from your second peg center to your second peg center, across the center rather, and get in between those, pull the middle part over, and pop your body, your neck piece, onto that 4th peg in the center. From here we're going to get these 2 bands, which are coming from the side. It's going to be a little bit loose here, so be careful. Get your next 2, and then you can loop straight up the middle. And get under the eye pieces here. Pick a side and loop up the side. And on the other side will come up the same way. And get underneath your triangle bands and those eye bands when you're coming up. Make sure you're not grabbing the pieces that are holding it all together here. Going to take a single hair colored band and pull it through the bands on your top center peg. Put one end over the other and create a slip knot, and you can remove this from your loom. And give your Ryker any adjustments you feel he needs, and then we'll get on to our comm badge. Right, I'm just going to tuck this into the back, and the back is the side that has the black part of the uniform lower on the right side. I'm just sticking this onto a C-clip for now to get it out of the way here. Hold it in place a little better. Oops. You can use gray or silver, or I suppose even gold for your comm badge. I'm gonna use gray this time. And we're gonna take your hook and put it through from the back to the upper right part of the chest. Take a gray or silver band, bring it back through. So put it on the end of your hook with a little tension and pull it through the back. Bring your hook through again a little bit lower. In my case, it's going to be a little higher because this is sunk more than I wanted it to. And pull one end over the other on the back side. Go through in the top place again, and you're going to grab another band, pull it through the back, and we're going to find a second place a little bit to the side. This is a little bit hard to show, and it takes a bit of fiddling, but you want to bring it back close to where the first one ended at the bottom, but a little higher to the side. I think this does work a little bit better with the silver. It's a bit stiffer. At any rate, I'll let you sort that out. I'm gonna make one more try at this, and then we're gonna wrap this up here. So I've come through from the back, bringing my band through, coming through a little bit higher up, bringing my band back through, yeah, I definitely think this the actual silver bands work a little better for this. Well, regardless, you will get your nice comm badge there. I'll get this sorted out and throw that in the thumbnail picture for you. But there you have your Ryker, bearded or unbearded. to you. And I thank you for watching. I hope you'll have a look at some of my other Star Trek Next Generation crew.